out of the fire of Earth attraction, beyond the limits of the world, where man and machine and spirit unite. Born by the power of lightning, into the 21st century. It is the end of the beginning. It is the time of Superforce.
Something's wrong. They're not here.
No. Empty!
We'll get them later!
They'll be here! We'll get them later!
I don't have to later.
Let's get the equipment together and get...
No! I want to find out now. I need to know how much time I have left.
Very brave, Carl.
But how come you love Joe instead of me?
It's just the way it is.
Well?
You have about 10 days left.
God created the world in 7.
Let's go.
I noticed your security system, very sophisticated. So the guys that pulled this were either real pros, or it was an inside job.
I don't think it could have been an inside job. Every person here is handpicked. They're all very reliable, very trustworthy.
Well, what kind of work do you do here?
It's a research facility.
What kind of research?
Biotech engineering, cybernetics, a lot of stuff that probably wouldn't mean much to you. I mean, it's very scientific.
Well, believe it or not, I have a scientific background. I was involved in the space program a while back.
Wait a minute. Stone? Zach Stone.
Yeah.
You were an astronaut. It's great to meet you. Don't people recognize you all the time?
No, when they see me, now they see the badge.
Well, that's not all I see.
Thanks. What exactly do you do here, Miss Smith?
Call me Eve. I'm assistant to Mr. Slate, the president of the company.
Could I see him, Eve?
No, he's out of town. But he knows about the break-in, and he's concerned, so he's cutting his trip short. He'll be here this evening. I really don't think he'll be able to help you, though. I mean, he wasn't even here. He was in Tampa.
Well, I think I'll come back tomorrow. I could talk to him anyway. You never know. What do you keep in there?
It's a cold storage vault.
Well, what was in it?
Nothing.
Nothing? Well, somebody thought something was in here.
Yeah, I know, they ruined it. But it's no problem. Insurance will cover it.
She's an interesting woman. There's something about her. I just can't put my finger on it.
I mean, aside from the fact that she's intelligent and fine, could it be that she's a fan of yours from your astronaut days?
Very funny. No. I don't know. I don't know why she was so evasive with her answers.
You can't blame her or the Epsilon Corporation for being so secretive. Every innovation they've ever tried to come up with to advance science and civilization has met with negative publicity.
He's got a point. There are people walking around today who would have been dead 10 years ago if it wasn't for the Epsilon Corporation's artificial hearts or livers.
And yet when those artificial organs were first unveiled, the media and various protest groups had a field day.
But they were building parts of those organs with fetal tissues, Evie.
Only the prototypes.
Yeah, after that, they used synthetically grown plasmoidal tissue, but the negative image stuck with them.
Then, just after they embarked in nanotechnology research, the government made it illegal.
Oh, yeah. I remember those headlines. So what's the Epsilon Corporation working on now, I wonder?
Well, Eve Smith was decidedly silent on the subject.
I would imagine they're continuing their work on plasmoidal cybernetics and artificial tissue fabrication.
Here, FX, take a look at this. This is a list of all the stolen items. Maybe something will jump out at you.
Tell me again. You actually gave them a list of the stolen equipment.
I wanted to appear cooperative. If something had turned up and I didn't report it, the police may have probed deeper.
Probe deeper?
We're not dealing with fools. They've put a very perceptive, very intelligent officer on the case.
Why was the break-in even reported?
It was Larry, Mr. Slate.
Larry?
The security guard. His wrist was injured during the robbery. He wanted to apply for workman's comp, and he knew that required a police report.
What? That idiot.
It's nothing weird at all. Just a lot of biological and medical measuring devices, gene readers, endocrine analysis units. This stuff is so specialized. Who would steal it? A hospital?
Well, if it's that specialized, it should be easy to figure out what they were doing with it, right?
Wait a minute. A polarized electron gun?
Yeah.
This doesn't fit in with the rest of the stuff.
Why?
It's like a $10 million item.
Gentlemen, by itself, a polarized electron gun is not suspicious. It could be used to pre-temper steel or to repair microscopic fractures in dense material.
Correct. But when you put it in the context of biological and plasmoidal simulation and the Epsilon Corporation, they could be using it to program nanomachines, right?
That's what I fear.
But that's not necessarily bad, right? I mean, I know it's illegal, but nanotechnology was the hope of the future. You know, turn lead into gold. Build a real living forest out of dirt and air. Repair a damaged artery, right?
Quite right. A nanomachine takes molecules apart and then puts them back together again in any way it has been programmed to.
But if there's an error in the program, then they don't put the atoms back together again at all. And you get gray goo.
What's gray goo?
Every substance reduced to its constituent components. Your body would become free atoms of carbon, hydrogen, etc. The Earth would become silicon, oxygen.
These tiny machines would take everything apart. And the whole world would.
Could turn into gray goo.
Man, that'd be the end of everything.
The police will never figure out what's going on. They'll never know who did it, and they'll never catch them. But we know who did it, don't we? And we'll catch them.
But how?
They opened the cryo vault. We know what they're after. It's just a fluke that it was empty. But they need them, Eve. They need the nanomachines. They need them, and they'll be back. And we'll be ready for them.
That greedy, selfish pig. Slate thinks he's God. He's created the world in his own image. But he's overlooked one very important fact. He's immoral and without conscience. That means his world is that way. That means we are that way.
But you didn't have to beat that guard so severely. It was wrong.
Didn't you hear what I said? I will do whatever I want. We're talking about survival.
She's right. If you hadn't injured the guard in the first place, the police wouldn't have been called in. Besides, he's blameless. What has he ever done to you?
His very existence mocks me.
You get off it!
Shut up! You concentrate on that program.
Program's ready.
Really? It's done?
Yeah.
Now all we need are the nanomachines, Eve.
I told you, Slate's expecting you back. There's going to be a trap.
Let him try to surprise us with a trap. Because now we have the advantage. It's not a surprise anymore.
We need those machines.
I know.
And we'll get them, too. You want to know why? Because we don't care how we get them. There are no rules anymore.
Mr. Slate.
Officer Stone, I'd appreciate it if we could make this as brief as possible. I have very little time.
Well, since you had the crime scene cleaned up, I'm going to have to ask a few questions regarding the break-in.
Then let me save us both some trouble. The equipment that was stolen is of very little concern to us. It's already been replaced. My time is far more valuable than that equipment could ever be.
Well, it's my understanding that some of that equipment was very expensive. For example, the polarizing electron gun. Now, stop me if I'm wrong, but that's somewhere in the area of $10 million, right?
As I said, my time is more valuable than any piece of equipment. As far as the Epsilon Corporation is concerned, this case is closed.
Well, that'd be fine with me. Except that a man was injured, and this is still a police matter.
Of course. We will fully compensate our injured employee. But I personally cannot afford the negative publicity a case like this can generate. I'm sure you understand. So do what you have to do. But please keep me out of it.
I will, if that's possible. Thanks for your time. Oh, one other thing. The vault that they broke into.
It was empty.
But what do you normally keep in there?
Tissue samples. Anything we want to preserve at low temperature.
Well, maybe they were looking for some cold cash, huh?
Very clever.
Or maybe nanomachines.
Officer Stone, as you know, nanotechnology is illegal. And illegal technology is not cost-effective.
So my crew and I would have died in space if I hadn't jerry-rigged the power supply, bypassing the positron chamber and manually piloting it back to Earth.
How did you identify the cation box on the power supply without a schematic?
I figured it out. Now, how would you know I needed to do that? There's only a handful of people who understand muon propulsion.
High IQ, I guess.
Gifted.
Cursed. Ignorance is bliss. The smarter you are, the sadder life is.
That sounds depressing. You don't really believe that, do you?
Only sometimes.
I'm gonna level with you. I have reason to believe that Epsilon Corporation is experimenting with nanotechnology. Now, I say there were nanomachines in that cryo vault. That's what the robbers were after. Am I wrong?
Even if they were after nanomachines, they didn't get any. The vault was empty. I swear.
I don't want to see you get hurt, Eve. You better tell me what's going on.
You know, Zach, some things may be illegal and still be right. I mean, what if there was someone you cared about and breaking the law was the only way to help them?
Well, Eve, I've been a cop long enough to know that not every law is just. have to tell me what's going on. Trust me. Maybe I can help you.
Do you know what a plasmoid is?
No.
It's a synthetically created human being. Real skin, real blood, real emotions.
Well, then what's synthetic about them?
Well, they're not born. They're assembled in the laboratory as adults.
Wait a minute, I think I've heard of this before. Cyborgs, right?
No, a cyborg is a machine. These are real people with thoughts and feelings.
Okay, I'll have to take your word for that.
Epsilon Corporation created a series of these plasmoids. It was incredibly successful. They're highly intelligent, extremely capable. Unfortunately, there's a planned obsolescence built into each one.
Sort of like a machine that's designed to wear out after 5 years, right?
Yeah. They die after a short lifespan.
That's not good.
Yeah, it's good business. They need to be replaced with next year's model.
Are you telling me that there's some connection between the plasmoids and the break-in at the lab?
Well, I'm telling you, the plasmoids did it. They want more life. You can understand that.
Yeah. How do you know all this? Are you in on it?
No, but I know them. And I want them to succeed.
So you're telling me these plasmoids escaped from the lab after they were manufactured. Now they're breaking back in to steal these nanomachines? That's incredible.
Yes. The plasmoids want to inject the nanomachines into their bodies to undo the death program.
Then it's fortunate they failed. For if they program them incorrectly, the nanomachines could reproduce themselves an infinite number of times and in the process disassemble all matter.
What am I supposed to do, EB? The plasmoids have a right to live.
You know what I think? Let the nanomachines be programmed in a controlled environment. Take all this stuff to the authorities and let them deal with the situation.
All right, and let some judge write an opinion?
That's not what I'm saying.
It affects these people. They're gonna die.
Zach, I'm afraid you don't have much of a choice. The lives of the few are outweighed by the lives of the many.
Eve said it would be unlocked. Don't touch it. It's wired to glow. We have to disarm it.
Here, Carl. A little gift from Mr. Slate. Sudden death.
He's stunned. He'll be okay. Now give me that canister.
I can't.
Viacom.